When you find a real estate platform that aligns everyone in the entire company financially by making us real estate agents owners, so when the average agent wins, everyone wins, that's the secret to success. And when you surround yourself with like-minded entrepreneurial people who absolutely love what they do, they love serving people, they love God and life, and you put yourself in an environment of high energy, high producing, positive people every day, you can't help but succeed in business and life. We are changing the real estate industry and changing real estate agents' lives. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever Podcast.
Hey everyone, I am super excited today. Welcome to the Financial Freedom Forever Podcast. Today we have the one and only Mica Callaway. So excited to have you on here on our podcast today. Mica, how are you doing?
Man, I'm fabulous.
Well, you're looking good as always. And man, I'm super proud of you. I'm going to have you tell us your story, but I know you shared with me earlier that only been in real estate for a total of 3 years. You've already killing it. What I think you said you had 28 homes sold already this year, 7.7 million in volume, with another 1.5 million in volume pending. And the sky's the limit for you, because I know where you're going and what you're doing. But tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your real estate history, and we'll jump right in.
Awesome. So, I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri. I've been in Atlanta for over 21 years. I have two fabulous kids, Mica and William, and I actually cover the Atlanta, Georgia area for real estate. Previous to real estate, I was doing pharmaceutical sales and actually pretty much doing the same thing you do in real estate, meeting new people, growing a territory, networking, collaborating, and selling a product, oral care product. But now I'm selling real estate.
All right, fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your real estate career. When you first, what I understood from talking before, fresh out of real estate school, you joined EXP right from the beginning, right? How did you hear about EXP, and tell us about that experience?
So my previous experience with real estate was selling my own home. And I had a marital property. I went through a divorce, and I actually hired a real estate professional to sell my home. Well, she and I stayed connected, and we are still good friends. After I closed on that transaction, we were still good friends after that transaction. And she was like always one of those people I admired as a real estate agent. So when I got ready to go into real estate, I reached out to her, and she basically was with EXP, and she told me all about EXP, and the business model made sense from a professional standpoint because I was coming from corporate America. So from corporate America, I had my retirement with T. Rowe Price and Fidelity and, things of that nature. And the way that she was explaining to me the business model and the added benefits, like the gifts that the company was going to give me with shares of stock, was allowing me to have the opportunity to grow my retirement again. Right. And so I was really impressed with that. I also liked the fact that it was in the cloud, because at that time I wasn't thinking I was going to be a full-time realtor. I'm like, I'm going to go back to pharma. I'm just going to do a little bit of real estate, and if I do a little bit of real estate, then I can still go to my trainings with this amazing app on my phone, because we have the World app on our phone. Right. And I could be anywhere in the world and do real estate and get in trainings. I don't have to go to a brick and mortar building. So that was really impressive, coming from a pharma job where I'm on the road, traveling, covering a territory. It just made sense. And so that's because I was used to that business model. From pharma, it only made sense to work in the cloud, get my retirement, and sell a product just like I did in the past.
Okay, so your plan was to be in real estate kind of part-time as you worked the other job. Well, what happened? Why you're in full-time real estate agent now, right?
Yeah. So a lot of people know the little piece of the puzzle is like I was with Johnson & Johnson Pharmaceuticals. I got a DUI. I went to jail. I lost everything. That's my testimony now. I'm not embarrassed to share. And so I got pushed into real estate because in between going to jail and getting convicted, I didn't know what else to do. So I basically had a girlfriend of mine. She made a post on social media, Kendall Lockett. She's also my soror. She says, thinking about a career in real estate. And I was like, I called her up. I said, Kendall, I'm thinking about a career in real estate. I don't know what to do. And so the bottom line is that kind of catapulted me into real estate. Well, once I got got my feet wet and everything, I went back to another job, which was for a distributor, Binco Dental. And they basically was giving me I was at 100% commission with that job. So, when you're at 100% commission, it's like it's 100% commission for real estate too.
Right.
So I was trying to do them both, but I was on a draw and my draw was about to run out. And my manager at the time came to me and says, Mica, we hear you're doing real estate on the side and you can't moonlight. It's called moonlighting when you're covering 2 territories. And I had to choose, but I was already married to real estate. And so I said, well, my decision is real estate. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to give it all I got because I was on a draw with them. And if the dentist didn't pay their bills, they would take my commission check back. So it was just so many different factors that was like, if I'm going to bet on anybody, I'm going to bet on myself. And I'm about to go sell this real estate for myself versus selling products for other people.
There you go. That's fantastic. So, hey, everyone that's out there watching, if you have any questions for Mica, put them in the comments in the chat sections, and we'll try to answer them for you. Send this out to your friends and send some likes and put it out there. So Mica, 27 transactions already this year. Going to probably hit 30, 35 right before the end of the year. It took me 7 years to get to 40 transactions. And you're almost to that in your 3rd year, and you have an administrative assistant and a couple of team members. How did that all happen so quickly in 3 years? Because it took me about 7 to 8 years before I started a team. So walk us through that a little bit.
Well, I'll say this, it has a lot to do with who I'm surrounded around. I'm around, people like yourself. I'm around so many top producers and top leaders within Honey Badger Nation. And I really feel like it's because I started going to conferences and I started listening and being able to be a sponge around so many fabulous real estate professionals. And so I will say that I'm really goal oriented. So my first year in real estate, I did 16 transactions. And I didn't know where I was going to get my business from, but I'm used to cold calling. Remember, I come from cold calling, following up, I'm routine. And so at that time, I was really buying leads from Realtor.com. They were different then in 2018. You didn't have as many real estate agents, and we wasn't low inventory, and we didn't experience then what we're experiencing now. So for me, it was like, let's do it. I stayed going. So 16 transactions my first year. This past year, of course, has been like the best year of my life. As I told you before, I came out of real estate school. That first year, I was underneath another organization. I wasn't a Honey Badger. And so my career was good, but I still was broke. I was still broke. I was still sometimes like, waiting for a commission check. Sometimes I didn't even have gas in my car to go show a house, So at that point, I started reaching out to some other people within EXP, and I started doing showings for people and open houses for people. So I was working with Adam Mincy, Jillian Jackson, Jamie Walter with the Nest Atlanta. And these are other people within EXP, but they weren't in my organization. I just started chiming into the workplace, and I started just meeting strangers, Sure. And Jamie would pay me to do showings, and then she would give me a little piece of pie when it went to closing. And I learned that from Jamie Walter. And then Adam was doing flips in the city of Atlanta. So I would call Adam. And so none of them people are Honey Badgers. They're not, of course, in my other organization, but I leaned in to meet different people. I'll say that. And then I ran across that guy, Levi McDonald. And I was like, man, I see his signs all the time. And they just move different. It was something about Levi, like they just move different. And so I was struggling though. And I got a call from somebody that says we can give you 100% commission. And I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna go over here to this 100% commission. Well, I must have shared it with Levi. And Levi was like, man, no, you need to come talk to me. And so I made that switch at the time for 100% commission because I knew about EXP, but I didn't understand my business model, what I really was tapped into. And then Levi called me up one day. He kept bugging me. And I said, okay, Levi, I'm gonna meet with you today. And we sat down in his office. At that time, he was sharing the office with one of my preferred lenders, LaShante Harris, off of Northside Drive. And he says, come on, sit down. And he sat down and he had this big old projector. He said, I'm gonna pull some numbers up because I like numbers. Mm-hmm. And he pulled up his projector and these numbers. He started talking to me about the business. And it was like explaining to me the NAEA, the National Association of Expert Advisors, and the coaching platform that comes with honey badgers, and all of that was amazing to me. So that day I was like, I'm moving right now. Because when I move, I implement real quick. I said, I'm moving right now. And I got online, did my application. I'm like, I'm switching over. I'm about to come back to EXP underneath Levi. And then EXP stopped me. And they says, if you come back, you cannot come back this soon because you can't change your sponsor to Levi. So they gave me the day that I would be able to switch sponsorship, which was September the 3rd, 2020. And they kept my application on file, and I was counting down my time till September 3rd, still meeting with Levi. So in the meantime, he chimed me into all the coaching, and I met Wally. I started talking to Wally Brasler. Is it Brasler? You know what I'm talking about, Wally Brasler?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he's at
Miranda.
NAEA.
Yeah, Miranda. And I knew I wanted to take my real estate career to the next level, and I knew I needed coaching, and I was ready to invest in the coaching. And so they let me know that, you know what, if I come back as a honey badger, I get a different package. So I came back, I said, I'm gonna wait. And as soon as I came back September 3rd, I got connected to Joel Hollow, my first real estate coach of my career. And he's how I go live all the time. I wasn't going live. I wasn't shooting videos. I wasn't doing anything. And so I went to I'm sorry, I have to go on and on. I'm sorry.
No, that's awesome. I mean, so I want to make sure our listeners understand. So you're a brand new agent out of corporate America, joined EXP right out the gate. We're starting to learn and getting your feet wet. You're making some sales, but like any business, it takes a little bit of time to get going. You're struggling a little bit financially, like I did in my first few years of real estate for sure. You said 16 sales in your first year. I did 7. So you're doubling what I did when I first got started. But then you got a call from another company saying, hey, come over here. We'll give you 100%. You know, it did sound like it was greener on the grass, greener on the other side. So you left the XP, went to this other company for a while. And then in the meantime, met Levi, who's my sponsor as well. And anyone that doesn't know, Honey Badgers is a private Facebook group that we have as part of our group. It's like our Financial Freedom Forever group. We're all together, but when we're all in EXP, but in different networks. And so when you met Levi and he talked about NAEA, the National Association of Expert Advisors, and the free coaching and training and the systems that we all get because you're in our group, you said, man, I'm going back to EXP. I didn't know how good I had it, right? But give people the brakes on you because you can't change sponsors without being gone for 100, for 6 months. And I think, you know what? I think our group is one of the reasons they put that in effect, because I know Jay Kinder and Michael Reese, those guys are telling me that every week we have people saying, hey, can we come onto your group? Because we see and hear what you guys are doing and all the coaching and training and everything that you do. And can we change? And they're like, no, you can't leave sponsors unless you actually leave the company and come back. And I think that's why they
changed it, because it used to be 120 days. Now it's 6 months. That's right. I think it's 6 months now.
Well, I think in the very beginning you could change sponsors, but it was happening so often. They're like, hey, we got to stop this because, people are all leaving and coming back, changing sponsors, and it's just too much of a nightmare and paperwork to do that. So they make it a little difficult that you gotta leave and come back. But you had already left, right?
I had already left, yeah.
And now coming back, what's different about this group, and what's your experience been, and what's your goal for next year? Where do you think you're going to be in your 4th year in real estate? Because now you have a team started, a virtual assistant, administrative people, and I know you're going to kill it because you're going after, right? The little things that you're seeing, jumping in workplace, talking to strangers, getting on webinars and learning as a sponge. That's all at your fingertips. And because you're out there active, trying to grow your business, it's all there and available for you. So I'm excited to hear about what your goals are for next year, and what are the biggest things that you see as different because you're in the Honey Badger group and in our Financial Freedom Forever group as well.
One of the things that's different is the community and the collaboration. I think that I get excited because I feel like I'm not alone. And not am I not alone, I'm with some top producers, And the other thing too is everybody wants to help, everybody wants to share. They're like, nobody's in competition. We don't compete, we complete transactions and we complete our business. And so I think that for me, I know that I can go further because of my support that I have within Honey Badger Nation. Because of the phone calls, I can pick up a phone and call millionaires. I can pick up a phone and call a coach, and I can pick up a phone and actually get to where I need to be. And so I think that for me, being a part of this group has changed my mindset. So my mindset shifted when I got into the room of some people that are growing, and every day we're growing. So I think it's a mindset shift. My goal, and you asked me a few different things, and so I apologize if I'm pivoting, but my goal for 2022 is really to expand my agent organization. I want to have one agent in all 50 states. And again, the business platform of EXP allows us to have that without even having a brokerage license. I hear some agents like, I'm gonna go be a broker. I'm gonna go be a broker. But I've come over here with some amazing brokers that partner, and I can do the same thing they're doing without a brokerage license. But again, those are from agents that don't really understand our business model. So yes, right now I have 28 agents in my organization, and so my check for that is actually growing, and I want to help them grow as well. So I want to do more coaching. I also want to do more mentoring, but more mentoring on a more I want to say more stability, more on a more stable foundation, basically. I want to do more coaching, more mentoring on a more stable foundation and grow my organization in 2022.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you already have 26 agents in your EXP global team, and your goal is getting one in every state. And I'm sure you'll absolutely get there. I think you're in a couple of states now. I'm already in 27 states, I think, in 4 provinces of Canada, Mexico, and India. Never thought we would be in other countries like that. And the sky's the limit. So
how many you got, Dre? I see your numbers sometime. How many you got?
As of today, 559 partners across the country, and growing. So yeah, it's been pretty exciting.
559. So yes, I have 26, but this morning, one of my partnering agents, Takesha Wood, called me and told me she brought over two new agents yesterday. And so that's why I got 28 this morning. And you see how things can happen, right?
That's right. That's right. I mean, yesterday we didn't have anyone join the group, but the day before we had 5 that joined the group from Canada to Florida to California. And it's been pretty amazing how we're financially tied to these people, and they're actually our partners. And when we help them grow the company, with the revenue share program, they're very generous on how we get paid to help the company grow and help our partners grow. So it's pretty cool. Let me ask you,
it's unprecedented. It's unprecedented.
Oh, absolutely.
People never heard of it, and so it's better. It's better every day when you get connected. And so I'll be leaving next week for Los Angeles, and I will be learning the area, and I'll be working alongside one of my partnering agents, Lamonte Douglas. He covers Los Angeles. He's on my organization partners. And then I have Chicago. I have Missouri now as well, and I'm licensed in Missouri, but I have an agent in Missouri, my hometown now, so I'm excited about that.
So you're going to these other states and hanging out with your business partners, learning the market a little bit more, and just getting more educated so you can continue growing your business and helping them grow theirs. That's being a great leader, Mica. That's, I'm proud of you, proud to be in business with you, and you're doing a great job. I mean, if you've got this far in 3 years, which is double what I've done, imagine where you're going to be after you've been in real estate, 10, 20, 30 years, like my gray hair is showing. I'm super excited about it for you, for sure. What surprised you the most about EXP? What were you not expecting? Is there any surprises when you came over to EXP from being, your first company, real estate company that you joined?
I wasn't expecting for there to be opportunities of this nature, so soon in my career. I stepped out on faith. I was like, well, I'm just going to jump and grow my wings on the way down, and I thought I had to have all these things together. And when I got over here, I was surprised of some of the coaching quotes, like, show me your calendar, I'll show you how much money you're going to make, by John Kitchens. I didn't realize how many quotes would inspire me every day and change my trajectory. Also, be a copycat. I wasn't expecting to come over here and people really lay out the red carpet and say, here, we've already done this. We've already made the mistakes for you, but this is what's going to help you grow. And once I got that, I wasn't expecting somebody to give me a book and say, here it is. We've made the mistakes. This is what works, and do it, implement it, and you can grow too. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, if you were at a different company, you wouldn't have received that either, right? Because people at other companies don't just give the farm away. They don't say, hey, here's my listing presentation. Here's my buyer, here's everything I have that's helped me grow my business, because we're kind of in competition, even with the agents in your own office, right? Your colleagues, but you're still fighting over the same business. But because of this business model, we're all financially aligned. So we want to help you grow because we all benefit from it. So we give you absolutely everything. So, man, I wish EXP was around 30 years ago when I first joined. I probably have a private jet and been on a beach 20 years ago if it was around that long. But I'm super excited of, hey, in just a couple of years, we've been able to, hit over 550 team members and on pace to be 1,000 next year. And you're going to be in the same pace. It takes a little time to get started, but once you help your partners and they start really growing their business and they share it with a few friends, because now they got stock in the company and they're getting revenue share in the company, and free coaching and training and healthcare, they tell their friends, because they love them and they want to see them benefit as much as they have. And then your business really explodes. So I know that's going to be coming down the pike for you for sure.
I think that for me, I would really love to have, I have certain people. I want you to know that I do have still struggles. I still struggle with the team. I'm a big follow-up person. So I feel like I'm struggling sometimes with wanting my team to follow up or duplicate what I do or run around like I do. So you have to remember that you got to meet people at the point of their needs. But I would love to have someone that, as I continue to grow, that has the same zeal and the same passion that I have within growing the partnerships, because the partnerships is what really matters in the big scheme of things. Longevity, long-term wise for my exit strategy, because I'm 44, I'm gonna be 45 this year. So we want to work smarter and not harder. And the way to do that is really to find somebody like you. You came on underneath Levi, and find another me, underneath Levi. And I just really want to duplicate that wheel and I would like to have me an Andre.
That's what exactly
Andre
happens
in my organization that has the same zeal to growing the partnership like I do.
Well, that's awesome, because I want another Mica on my team as well. So we share the same passion there. And that's what happens 95% of the people who join EXP, they join for the coaching, the training, the lower caps, the ownership, having the stocks and just to get help to sell more houses. Most agents just want to sell more homes. But once they come on and they get connected, you have several that rise to the top and say, wow, this is so great. I got to share this with a few friends. And then when they do, they get the passion of, hey, EXP is going to compensate me very well to help the company grow, and they start getting those, $200 or $500 or $1,000 revenue share checks, like referrals that you never had to touch. Then people start rising. There's only really 5% of the company really out there trying to do agent attraction and build, but you'll find, maybe 1 out of every 10 or 20 people that are on your team, 1 or 2 are gonna jump in and have the passion to build the company. And I have 3 or 4 builders and about 5 or 6 up and comers that are really getting things going. So as the time goes on, it really makes a huge difference in the
Oh,
growth really
yeah.
starts happening.
I do have 3 builders. One of my builders, oh my gosh, she brought in 9 agents, and so I know this call wasn't about that, but when you look at people that want to focus on more transactions versus growing the organization, you have to have a balance. And that's what I've learned this year is that I got to be able to do all 4 things at one time. And the reason being is because I have 4 streams of income within EXP. So when I see people that are like, I just want more transactions, I'm like, okay, but you know what? I didn't realize that I needed another stream of income until I had that closing and never closed. Because sometimes you do all the work and you may never go to closing. So I started experiencing some of that. And I'm okay with the people that want more transactions, but I got a really big quote that stuck with me when I was in Dallas for the Bill conference. And they said, you'll always be outbeat by a team. And when I heard that story about being outbeat by a team, I came back on the plane like I'm starting a team, because if you want to get to certain units, it's only so much Mica can do by herself. So yes, I see that I closed 28 transactions by myself, but now I have a team. And so within my team, my teammates, my team, Stephanie, she does have 4 houses under contract now, and she's doing teamwork, and she's also doing her own individual thing because she covers the commercial division of Mica Relate's home selling team. But when you see the numbers I sent to me and you, these are my numbers by myself. Okay. So I'm over 7 million now for this year, 7.7 million for this year, trajectory to actually have over 9 million closing out at the end of the year by myself. I want to have that with a team. In order for me to do that, I really need to sit down and do some more coaching and some more training and implementation so that I can duplicate the agents that I do have in my organization. So that's really what I want to do. And I want somebody that has the same zeal and passion, because you got to get out there and work for it. But the goal isn't more transactions. The goal is to have that exit strategy for retirement and what you're going to do when you're past transactions. Because Levi says to me all the time, after that closing, you're unemployed again.
That's right.
So,
well, I love it with the four streams of income, with the stocks and the equity program, being able to get your entire cap back in stock, and having ownership and having your ownership in the company. I mean, that's what you mean, right? We're able to set up a retirement plan that we never had before from another company. So and have an exit strategy. So that's
so
a big
speaking
deal.
of that, Andre, my last year I didn't cap until after 9 months, but I wasn't strategic about my numbers and my goals. Okay. I did Icon because I was too busy helping other people. So now with this year, I'm actually a month and 17 days into my 4th year of real estate on not the calendar year, but the real estate year. And my goal is to cap by the end of this year in 3 months. That's because the quicker I cap, the quicker I Icon, and I refuse to not get my $16,000 worth of shares of stock this year. The devil's a lie. I'm getting it, and I'm going to cap and I'm going to Icon for the first time. That is my goal. I will cap and Icon this year.
And that's a big deal. I mean, the cap in this market is usually 7, 8, 9 houses maybe at the most, and then you Icon by selling or leasing another 20 properties. So around 28, 20, 30 properties, you're going to hit Icon instead of just getting a glass award. And we do get a nice glass award, but they also give us the $16,000 back in stock. Hey, man, when I joined 2.5 years ago, the stock was $8.15. And last week it was like $45 a share. And 4 or 5 months ago, we had the 2-for-1 stock split. So that's like worth $90 a share to me.
Well, let me tell you this, that I have a story for every little thing that really has caused me to love this company even more. In 2019, my daughter was graduating from college, and in all transparency, not to tell too much of her business, but she had a situation happen. And that situation was like going to cost me a lot of money. And I was like, wow, where am I going to get this money from? My real estate career wasn't at that plateau where I had enough money saved. And I got a friend of mine says, Mica, you're with EXP. You got shares of stock. You can go borrow from your stock. So I had never borrowed from my shares of stock at that time. At that time, we were with Broadridge, I believe, was holding our stock. Now we're with Stanley Morgan. So I reached out and they was like, yes, you can borrow from the stock. You just got to go get the medallion stamp at the bank, and you can get your money deposited in your account. Easy breezy. But the money that I had vested on my own transactions was available to me immediately. The money that that EXP had gifted me was still vested for 3 years. So I borrowed $10,000 from my stock that day, and I fell in love with EXP. I said, I did not realize, I knew I signed up for the agent equity program because it's like throwing an acorn in the backyard and watching it grow. But I wasn't diligent in watching it grow. I wasn't diligent in watching the EXPI stickler every day. Now I got the EXPI stickler on my phone because until something knocks on your door and affects you at your door, you may not understand it. But then when it knocked on my door that I had this money, now I look at it every day. I go to my account, want to see when is this going to be invested. I love getting my emails that say, congratulations, you have a new stock award. It just affects me different.
Yeah, it's a big deal to be an owner and part of the company. I want to give a shout out to Benjamin and Bobby in America, who's on our podcast. Thanks for jumping on here today. If you guys have any questions there for me to put them in the chat. And yeah, Mica, you've been doing an awesome job. Just a couple more questions and we'll let you get back to work. But one of the big questions agents ask is, being a cloud-based brokerage, what kind of support do you get from the broker, from the EXP broker in Georgia? Have you experienced having to deal with the broker at all for any reasons? And how's the experience?
Have I dealt with the broker, man? In all transparency, I'm an open book. I had a broker complaint last week, but my broker knows me, Blaine. He's like, I know you got it covered. I do, because these agents will complain. Don't think that you get in real estate and people don't have complaints, but some of the stuff is because these new agents don't know how to read their contracts. I'm knocking on that door. They don't understand the contracts. And when you understand contracts and you understand situations, you don't get concerned. But I will say this, I advise everybody to get to know your broker. When they send out an email and they say, we doing a broker breakfast, the brokers are meeting for lunch. Do you know our brokers take their time? They go to the south end of town, the north end of town. They go wherever they can to meet you so you don't feel alone. And so I went to have breakfast with Brock, our broker Brock that took over Kim's place, and I went to have breakfast with Blaine. Our brokers know me, and they know, of course, the level of integrity I work with, and they know, of course, the way that I work when it comes to excellence. And so you want to know your broker. You want to let them know who you are, if that's, something that people want to do. But you'd be surprised at people that don't lean in and tap in to their broker. But my brokers are available, to me when I need them. I don't feel like I need them or people should need them that much because you have so much support that by the time it gets to the broker, it should be a fire. Now, some of the stuff it gets to the broker, that's because some of these smaller companies are used to dealing with the broker directly in the office. We work in the cloud. We have one broker or two brokers per state. But by the time you get to the broker, it should be a fire. But we don't have to do that because we have so much support in Honey Badger Nation within our organization. I pick up the phone, I call you, I call Dan, James, Levi, but I don't have that many issues. Just know that when they do arise, my broker knows who I am. They know Mica relates. You're a realtor that can relate.
Right. That's right. That's awesome. Hey, have you taken advantage of getting access to your senior business partners like Jake Kinder and Mike Reese and being able to get in their calendar pretty much anytime that we want to get help with building our business or learning about lead generation or asking questions to help the company grow? Have you taken advantage of your senior business partners much?
I will say this. I have not got onto my senior business partners calendar, but I will say that they know who I am. So when I got to the conference, I could say, hey, Michael Reese, I know who you are. When he said he knew who I was excited. They know who you are because we have our groups, we chime in. But I did connect with Braden Kinder, Jay Kinder's son. He offered as a courtesy for me and my organization to help us with listening to leads and Zapier and some other things that I wasn't familiar with, chiming into the KV core. And when I connected with him in Dallas, he was like, Mica, just get on my calendar, send me his cell phone number, very approachable. Jay Kinder's very approachable. They want us all to win. And I just think that they have the most wonderful spirits to take all their knowledge of real estate and give it to so many people to help us all win. And so I know it's available for me to get on this calendar. It's just not a need right now.
Okay. Well, it's nice to have it. That's for sure. I get on their calendars all the time, weekly, and they've been fantastic partners. They've been helping me grow my business for sure.
Well, I will say I do get into like, John Kitchens actually had an interview yesterday with Jay Kinder. So I was chiming into that, and they were having a great conversation on yesterday about talking about things that you consume. What are you consuming to help your business? So some of the things that we're hearing when they do interviews, it helps me. And I know I can get on their calendar if I need to. It just hasn't been the time.
Well, because of having access to the private Facebook page, and they're having these live interviews and trainings, Q&A, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. I think it's 3 to 4 times a week. That if you jump on some of those, you don't need to get in their personal calendars because they're available 3 to 4 times a week to the whole group. So yeah, that's a big benefit as well. Hey, if there was just one takeaway, Mica, that you want to make sure that anyone listening today, close friends of yours, or maybe acquaintances, other real estate agents out there, what would you want to make sure that they understood and what they took away from this interview?
I would want to make sure they understood the support that they have. If there's somebody on here looking at this interview and you're interested in being part of this amazing organization, and we're not just talking about EXP, we're talking about the coaching platform that we have under Honey Badger Nation. If you talk to me, if you talk to Andre, we all are one big fire. That's really what I want people to know. I want people to know that from new agents to older agents, we don't have to recreate anything. It's already been created for us. We have coaches and platform of people that want to help you grow and succeed. And your success is our success if you join our organization.
All right, awesome. Well, my last question for you, Mica, because I know we got to go. We have a 1 o'clock webinar every Wednesday. With agent attraction and how to duplicate your business, right? And then every Thursday, our group has production calls, CEO, what's it called? The Agent to CEO Unstuck webinars. It's all about production and increasing your business and selling more properties. So we got to jump on those webinars here in a minute. But my last question is, if you could do it all over again, if you could join EXP all over again, what would you do differently? If you don't mind asking, what's your biggest regret, or what would you do differently if you could do it all over again, and what you know about EXP now?
I think my biggest regret was actually not being connected initially, because when I left before, I wasn't getting into the Zooms, I wasn't getting into the world, I wasn't connecting on another national level. My biggest regret was coming in underneath another organization, because I kind of wasted time in between coming underneath another organization and not leaning in to find out what was the difference, about a sponsor. I wish I would have knew, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, because I have nothing against my initial sponsor, but I do feel like when the time came for me to say what I wanted to do with my career, I really kind of felt bad that I had to leave and come back and do all of that, because I wasted time in between. My transactions was in between. I didn't like the in-between. I just didn't like the in-between. That's one of the regrets. But now that's the past, and I'm soaring. A rising tide bring with it all ships. So I'm ready to grow.
That's right. So maybe if you would have done a little bit more due diligence in the beginning, learn a little bit more about what difference it means to have the right sponsor and the right group of people to be connected with.
Can I say this? I know we got to go, but what I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying that is because now when I talk to some newer agents that have never spoken to me, they say, "Oh, I heard about EXP. I know all about EXP." And then you got to ask them again, because see, I thought I knew about EXP, but do you know about EXP Honey Badger Nation EXP? It's a difference. And so that's why I think that it wasted time. I had to leave, come back, get connected. I don't want to have to do that. And so when people say, "Well, Mica, I've already heard about EXP," somebody call me, "Yeah, but they did, but did they tell you about EXP NAEA connection sponsor Honey Badger EXP?" Because it's a difference. It's a whole different world.
Yeah. You looking from the outside in, you don't know, but once you're in the group, then it's very apparent. But that's fantastic. So real quick before we sign off, if you're a reader, what's the best inspirational book that you love? And if you're a movie watcher, what's the name of your all-time favorite movie?
My favorite movie is, Pretty Woman. That's my favorite movie.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, right now, when it comes down to my favorite book, honestly, I'm about to launch my second book. I'm a self-published author. My first book is on Amazon. Some people may not know this. It's about relationships, starting over after bad relationships. It's called OMG, What a Mistake. If you Google Mica Callaway, it comes up. It's on Amazon. But my first book was OMG, What a Mistake, starting over after bad relationships and transitioning into a beautiful life. I'm recently engaged, getting married next month, so I'm excited about my new husband and I starting our life together. But my second book is coming out, and it's called The 5 Things I Wish I Knew About Real Estate Before Starting My Career. That's launching in January. So those are going to be my favorite books, my own.
Well, congratulations. I didn't know about that. I'm going to have to check those out. That's awesome.
Yes, the promotional information for the 5 things I wish I knew about real estate before starting my career. I hope it comes out today. I'm waiting on my graphic guy.
Well, that's cool. Very cool. Well, hey, thanks for your time today, Mica. Thanks for jumping on our Financial Freedom Forever podcast. It's a pleasure. I'm sure I'll see you at the next live event, and we'll see you soon. Congratulations in your career, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.